Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Manny Reads Comics. Today I'm going to be doing the Black Cat Annual number one, which is part three, I believe, of the Infinite Destinies. And before I get started on that, though, I do want to apologize. I said I would start making a new comic book day kind of videos to post on YouTube, to post on Instagram, not on the podcast and stuff because that's a visual thing. So if you're listening on a podcast, you would get no benefit from it. But I said that last week. I did one video last week, and then this week I didn't do it. I do have a good excuse though. I was sick. You can kind of hear it right now. I'm getting over it, but that's the only reason. Next week I'll be right back with the new comic book day uh, show offs. But I just wanted to apologize. But moving on, Black Cat Annual. I did. I feel bad kind of doing this review recap because I'm not doing a recap for all of the Infinite Destinies, just the ones that are in my current ongoing pulls. Um, but this is pretty good, so I wanted to go. I say it's pretty good. I did give it a 6 out of 10 just cause, but I'll go more into that at the end of here. Opening up here, we have Black Cat trying to get over her last mission, which was pretty much damning Fox to money hell. And so she says she needs a vacation. So she goes off on a vacation and immediately gets caught in Korea by the White Fox at the Incheon airport. My first question here is just, is she always dressed in that Black Cat uniform? I mean, I would understand if she was wearing it under, but like she's going on vacation and they show her coming off the plane and everything, and she's in the Black Cat uniform. Just like you're kind of not being very low key, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But either way, that was just a random thought. The White Fox actually captures her because she needs Black Cat's help. Um, there's something going on, and Black Cat has the skill sets to help her. And if you look at the cover here, White Fox is actually the one in the background with the white mask and everything. I didn't know who any of these people were before, but after reading, obviously I did. I do like this cover. It's just a little dynamic. It shows the what's it called? Give me a second here. I think it's like the Tiger Force, the Tiger Division. That's the Tiger Division here. And at the very top right corner, you see Taiguchi, and he's being compared to Hyperion, or not Hyperion, the Sentry. They make a pretty funny joke in there. Um, so Black Cat is intrigued. She says, "Yeah, I'll do it." And it's at this point that the White Fox tells Black Cat, "All right, I need to take your temperature real quick before we get started." And I don't know if that's a nod into current times or anything, but it was weird to say. But that does lower Black Cat's defenses, I guess you could say. And so when White Fox goes close to her neck, gives her a shot, she wasn't ready for it. She's upset, and she says, "All right, I've implanted a translator for the Korean language, and that's it. Like that's the only way that I could do that without being you attacking me or something." And unfortunately, we don't see it, but when you turn the page, you see the White Fox kind of like just rubbing her cheek, and Black Cat punched her, and she's like, "Don't ever do that again." And then here she explains, they're in the car. She explains Taiguchi, the Korean equivalent of Sentry, it has been compromised, has been taken over by the mafia there, and it's called the Choi faction, and they took full control, and they're threatening the government with, if you don't let us take over, we're gonna unleash Taiguchi on Korea, on Seoul, and that's that's devastating, right? So um, they need to find out basically what what's going on with Taiguchi. Why is he following them? How did they get control of him? And so White Fox introduces Black Cat to the Tiger fact, the Tiger Division, and that goes as follows. If you're looking at the cover here, we got the guy in the left side at the very left. He looks like a little golem. He's greenish. He doesn't really have a face. He is the general. He's a totem that walks like a man. That's how they describe him. The next one is Mr. Enigma. He's an unkillable brawler god, and you can find him in the cover at the bottom right, at the very, very end. He's the smallest figure. You can barely see him. Next is Luna Snow, who is an agent of Atlas, and she's right next to Black Cat to the right of her, with a little bit of white in her hair, and she's also a Korean like pop star or something like that. Uh, Connor 2 is the robot in front of Mr. Enigma, right below Black Cat, and he's I guess he's the second robot prototype of whatever, but apparently he's got a lot of big shoes to fill from the first Connor. And the last one is Auntie Auntie, and she's a gambler slash sorceress, and she's the one with the eye patch right there in front of White Fox, and Taiguchi is the guy at the very top. Um, so they meet up, and the plan is that they are going to distract Taiguchi while White Fox and Black Cat infiltrate the mafia's hideout and find out how he's being controlled. Pretty good, plan. Not too bad. It sucks for the Tiger division because Taiguchi is pretty powerful, but it's a good plan. And then at this point is that Black Cat realizes she was only picked because she's a thief, and she's a good thief. So honestly, it's not really an insult. It's just, oh, this is why I was chosen. Okay. Uh, she calls at one point when they're infiltrating. She calls White Fox Whitey, and Fox is like, that's kind of weird. Why don't you just call me Fox? And knowing the last couple of issues, that's kind of an issue for Black Cat, and she's like, "No, there's a lot of baggage in that name. I'll just continue calling you whatever." And then they move on. Black Cat and White Fox find these gangsters that are all piled up. They're dead. They're all over the warehouse. Some are all over the warehouse. Some are just like piled up, and it's just like, what happened here? And then they figure out that Taiguchi is most likely the one that killed them. That went wild. But later, then they discover that there's another group here. Let me see what they're called. The Maidens. They are the ones that killed everybody. Um, they were hired by the guy taking over Taiguchi, because that guy has been wanting to betray this mafia since the beginning, right? So this was his like failsafe, and Black Cat seems to immediately understand what's going on with the guy's name is Mongdo, and he's able to project his consciousness out and possess somebody. And before he wasn't strong enough to possess uh, Taiguchi, but they've been like powering him up for months and months, and so now he is strong enough. I thought it was going to be more of a, because this is an Infinite Destiny storyline. I thought it was going to be some kind of stone that powered him up, but it doesn't seem like that's the case here. But the maidens find Black Cat and White Fox, and then there's this huge battle scene. It takes over 2 pages. It's very nicely drawn, very gory, and it's very true to Black Cat's character. She's not a hero. She's an anti-hero, so she's not afraid to kill. Um, and when she finds Mongdol, she's a she does something before letting White Fox know, and it does get revealed later on. But she does something kind of tricky because Mongdo is not aware of anything. As long as he's taking possession of somebody else, he's not aware of what's going on around him. Um, but Taiguchi's abilities do allow him to sense something. He kind of looks up as Taiguchi and he says, "Someone's around my body," and then he immediately transfers his consciousness back. He sees Black Cat and White Fox, and he starts talking. He starts to monologue. He's a typical villain, and Black Cat knows this. Black Cat assumed correctly that he would just start monologuing his whole plan, because that's what he wants. That's what he just wants to be the top guy basically, and he's cruel for no reason, just to be cruel. Um, she goes in to make the kill when he was under, and White Fox does let her know like, hey, you can't do that. If you kill him while he's possessing somebody else, he stays in that body. So then Taiguchi would be evil basically for the rest of his life. Uh, Again, Mongda went back into his own body, and while he was talking to Black Cat and White Fox, he lets them know, he's like, I'm gonna take over one of you, and I'm gonna have you kill that other person. And now he's just being a villain, and he's like, well, which one will I take over? What do you want to do? Do you want to kill this your new friend White Fox or Black Cat? Do you want me to make you watch as you kill White Fox? And it's just like typical villain kind of things. And Black Cat does mention, she's like, well, I have a bomb implanted in my neck, so you don't want to take over me, as a kind of a trick. And he says, I don't believe that. So he goes to to take over her, but at that moment, Black Cat pulls out the trigger, and he says, she says, I was just kidding, or I wasn't kidding. I do have a bomb in my neck, but also so do you. And you took too long monologuing, so you gave me an opportunity. And she triggers it. And at this point, White Fox is like, "What? How do you have that?" And she's like, "I have my ways." And basically, that's what she did before, when she first found him. What she did was plant a bomb inside of Mondo's neck, and she was just waiting for the right time to blow it up. And that she did. She immediately kills Mondo. He's not alive. Before this, they thought he was dead. He had faked his death to train up to take over Taiguchi. He's definitely dead this time. Um, and that's pretty much how it ends. You know, Black Cat makes a joke about how White Fox finds her as a friend, um, but I don't understand how this relates to the Infinite Destiny storyline, other than the uh, the Nick Fury storyline at the end. But I don't know. We'll see. Because I know that Black Cat is going to somehow steal the gems in her future issues. I think issue 8 is her like holding the Infinity Gauntlet. So she does have a part in this. But this story right here had nothing to. I think it was just an annual. It had nothing to do with the Infinite Destinies that I could see. Um, so because of that, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10, because it just doesn't fully connect. It's kind of, um, I don't know. I just didn't like that. But it is positive wise. It was funny. It was entertaining. It was true to her character, and it's good to see the rest of the universe. Like, I didn't know about the Tiger Division. I didn't even know that it existed. But it's good to see that it's not just, American superheroes, but even in America, like, there's so many heroes that it's just good to see a bunch of them in another aspect instead of just their titles. So 6 out of 10, not too bad. Do you have to read it? No. Do you have to read it to be caught up with Black Cat? No. Um, it's just an annual, but I definitely I appreciated it, and the art was good. So that's Infinite Destinies, Black Cat annual number 1. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Make sure that you hit that follow button, subscribe, listen to all the podcasts, I guess, if you can't watch the videos. And then make sure you go to Instagram, Manny Reads Comics, and check out my content there. And make sure you follow there as well. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys later.